A very pleasant morning to all my dear students. Today, 23rd of April 2021. Again we are here. Yesterday we had start the introduction of the poem Fire and Ice, which is composed by Robert Frost. Okay, so let us revise once again so that our concept must be clear. Fire and Ice. This poem, though it is a short poem, it expresses the profound idea. It expresses the profound idea that the world would end in either of two ways. Number one is the because of fire, and number two is because of ice. The world would end, right? Both these components are compared with self-destructing human emotions. How? Fire leads to desire and ice leads to hatred. So these are the two ways of destructing human emotions. The poem underpins the philosophy that let our emotions rule us and don't control them, that they will surely destroy everything. They will surely destroy everything around us. Similarly, if he thinks fire and ice, okay, both are just competent to bring the world to a catastrophic end, according to the poet Robert Frost. In the first stanza, he says that world would end in either the two ways, that is fire and ice. One group is of opinion that the world would end due to fire. How? According to him, someday the earth core, right? The earth core, inside it, the earth core, it is so heated that it would lead to fire destroying the earth's surface. This is the natural disaster. On the other hand, the second group says that if the temperature goes down to some extent, it makes life on earth impossible. So it would have same catastrophic effect. So the poet compares fire and ice with the destructive features of earth. He would favor the one who said would be fire, okay, because fire is the main factor to destroy the world, which leads to world would end. By saying this, he brings to our notice the idea that the human beings let their emotions rule them, and the consequences of unmonitored longing in chaos, it will lead the world to an end point. So this much we have explained it, isn't it, in the previous class. Now we proceed to the second stanza, and this will be the end of our explanation of the poem Fire and Ice. Now students, we will proceed to the second stanza of the poem Fire and Ice. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. Suffice means be sufficient. Perish means die. So here, by not waiving of the first option, that is fire, the poet considered if the world has to expire twice, ice would be equally competent in ending it. He brings about contrast between ice and hatred. The human capability of insensitivity and hatred has the potential for inner destruction. though slowly and steady. It has the same effect that desire has on us. So, if given an option between fire and ice, ice would be just as good as fire to destroy the world, right? So, here we can say that how the world would end because of fire as well as the ice also, right? So, we can say that Robert Frost's poem Fire and Ice is a strong symbolic poem where fire is used as the emotion of desire and ice that of hatred. He has used the idea of two groups who have their own possible explanation for the end of the world. One is opinion that fire alone can destroy each and every possibility of life on earth, while the other thinks that if ice as a result of extreme low temperatures could cover the earth's surface, it would lead to the end of the world. Both the components are compared with self-destructing human emotion, desire and hatred. So the poet is originally of the opinion that he has been very closely associated with the fiery desires and consider it capable of bringing human beings on the verge of destruction. So this is a summary of the poem Fire and Ice. Okay. Now students, after the explanation of the entire poem, we will discuss the key points of the poem. The first key point is it has been written symbolically. Right? It has been written symbolically. It means that symbolically it represents two things. Right? Symbolically represents two things, that is fire and ice. Second key point is the poet says that here there are two main opinions. Two opinions is there in this poem. He says that the two opinions are that the end of the world would be either by fire or by ice. Right? So this is the opinion of the poet. Next key point is that the symbols of fire is desire and ice symbolizes hatred, according to the poet Robert Frost. So fire can spread very vast and cause a great destruction in no time. Likewise, ice is having the same equal to destruct the earth. When the temperature goes down, it definitely the world will going to be end. So hatred also cause same destruction slowly or gradually like ice, but it is also very harmful. So these are some key points where the poet expressed that fire and ice, the two agents of nature, they can also destruct the whole world, which will be going to be end. Okay, so here it is some key points are there that we explain here, right? I hope summary I have given you, explanation is also been completed, and now the key points I have just given to you. I hope whatever we have discussed, it must be clear to you. Thank you so much.